Good people, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite Moo Boy's favorite Moo Boy, Peanut.
And it is the CEO of She.write.books, Prin.
And this is Candid Conversations with Peanut and
Prin. So, Candid Conversation is just what it sounds like. We are going to dive into various different topics, and we are going to give it to you straight, no chaser.
Yeah, just like how the boys on the block like it. Straight no chaser. You can keep your juice and your soda. We're gonna have this thing straight no chaser. So, lovely lady, what's this Candid Conversation gonna be about today? What you think?
Well, I thought you said you had a topic that you wanted to introduce tonight.
Well, you're right. I did, and I do. I just wanted to see where you were at. I see you pouring your little libations over there, getting your cup situation ready.
Now, I do know that on your other show, A Shot of Moo and a Brew, shout out to, what is it? Joe Black and El Blanco.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Joe Black, El Blanco.
I know that you gentlemen normally have a drink. And so because this is our first show together, I didn't know if I needed to come prepared with a cocktail.
Well, a cocktail's always good. We're not toasting though.
No, we're not toasting.
We're not taking no shots.
We're just sipping.
That's that. We just, we're social sipping.
How about social sipping? Exactly.
Social sipping. That's what I'm doing right now. Social sipping. And it is very tasty, might I add.
So what kind of cocktail are you sipping on, sir?
Right now, I got a little 4 Roses on the rocks. Well, not a little. I got a whole glass of 4 Roses on the rocks. But that's what I'm drinking right now. 4 Roses whiskey. It's great. It's tasty. Good on your palate. I love it. If you haven't had it, check it out. I think you should.
So tonight, I am actually sipping on whiskey sour.
Figures.
One of my favorites.
Figures. We know that's what you like. It's that time of year too, so.
Yes, it is definitely a good time of year for a nice whiskey. So, before we jump into our topic, so being candid is going to mean speaking plainly and not holding back. We're going to say exactly what needs to be said.
Well, now keep in mind, these are our opinions, our thoughts, how we feel. Not those of anybody else who might be involved in the backdrop. It might be a light dude, a camera guy, producer. They're not their opinions, they're ours. But we're going to say how we feel, what we think. Yeah, candidly. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to love it. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be great.
For the record, I am nervous.
And that's what I am here for, my love. I am here for moral support. To be your rock when you are feeling down. We're going to talk about support at some point in time, too. It's a big deal. But I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to tell the people what I want to talk about today. I picked this topic.
Yes, he did.
It might not seem like it, but I picked this topic. It's time for the guys to loosen up a little bit. Be honest. So, the topic of tonight's show is the importance of the little things.
Okay.
When I say the importance of the little things, I'm talking about in a relationship. Those little things do matter. Now, the dudes with money gonna be like, "Oh, this nigga broke." You know what I'm saying? He couldn't afford to get his girl none, so he had the house writing cards and shit. And that's not necessarily the case. I ain't broke. I ain't rich either, but I'm good. But I think it's important. I think those little things are important. They say a lot about the person that you're with, character, give you some moral insight, how they feel, what they think, and how much they treasure or, care about the other person. The little things that matter. So let's jump into that.
Okay.
Queen Prin, what you think?
So I am going to say that, yes, it is all about the little things, but sometimes the big things Well, okay, let me take a step back. Sometimes in a relationship, when the big things are not being done,
Mm-hmm.
the little things don't matter as much.
Right,
But
right.
in a relationship, when the big things are being done, the little things matter just as much as the big things. So for someone that maybe is watching this and they are like, well, what's a big thing? A big thing to me would be communication, being honest.
Okay.
That's the big thing. And
Okay.
so it's one thing to have someone, tell you that you're beautiful, in the morning, or they're comfortable with kissing you while you still have your morning breath, something like that. Those are little things. However, if you don't have something like conversation or open communication with one another in a relationship, then kissing me when my breath smells stink, it don't work. I mean,
Well,
it doesn't mean anything, not to me, in my opinion.
well, let's be clear. Kissing somebody with that breath stank in the morning is a big thing. You dig what I'm saying? Because you got to love them if you're kissing them with that breath. You know, I got a little snore with me, and I'm sure every now and then it'll be a little, yeah, it's a big thing. But I get what you're saying. So since we're speaking candidly,
Hmm.
even though we are talking about the little things, you can't shit on the big things. The big things matter too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it all goes hand in hand. So they all speak on how much you care, what you care about, and how important the big things are just as well as the little things. So for me, I'll give you a little thing that matters to me, right? So I can say, or I don't even have to say, for those who don't know, I like coffee. I'm a coffee guy, right? I love it. I love a nice hot cup of coffee, right? And for the people who drink coffee like I do, you got a setup of how you like your coffee. You got a certain amount of creams, certain amount of sugars. You might have a flavor that you like, and there have been times when I could be sitting at my desk at work, doing my thing, and my honey walk in with that cup of coffee. Now, to some people, okay, so she bought you a cup of coffee. For me, that's a little thing that makes a big difference because number one, she bought me a cup of coffee when she didn't have to. She didn't ask, so she took time out of whatever she had planned to bring me a cup of coffee, right? But then on top of that, it's my number. She got the creams right, the sugars right, the flavor right, like, and it's hot, like piping hot, because I like it hot. And it's hot. That little thing makes a big difference to me. And those things count. It lets you know how much the other person, number one, pays attention. And she knows that I might like a cup of coffee in the middle of the day, and I might be working hard. I may be tired from the night before, and she just went on and brought that by. Man, makes my day. You hear me? Makes my day. I love me a cup of coffee from my honey.
So, Peanut, you said something that really, I think I want to kind of piggyback off of. Now, the little things do show you what a person really thinks. So, for example, you mentioned that you like your coffee with a certain amount of creams, a certain amount of sugars, extra hot.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically shows you how much someone has paid attention to your likes and your dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would have to say that the little things, I guess, or the things that I'm like, oh, wow, that was so thoughtful, was my honey placed soap powder and a car fogger and detergent crystals in my car at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got home and
Okay.
needed to be able to do a load of laundry, it was already sitting there waiting. I have no idea when this entered into the car. No clue.
Okay.
But that was the little thing. That was like the icing on the cake. So for anyone that, thinks that you always have to do, because I hear a lot of women and they want the red bottom shoes and they want the handbags that, and I'm all for a nice pair of shoes. I'm all for a nice handbag. Don't get me wrong. I love jewelry too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But those are not the things that when you don't feel good and you want somebody to rub your back, or when you got an itch that you can't scratch and you want somebody to scratch your back.
Don't I know it?
Or, you know, you're having a moment where it's not about the outside world, it's behind closed doors and you're at the house and you want to be comfortable. Like, I think that today people in relationships have gotten away from being vulnerable and being comfortable with the significant other. Like, I don't understand it. How can you be in a relationship with someone and you can't be comfortable? You don't know the little things. You don't know how they take their coffee. You don't know how they like their chicken or what their favorite chicken place is. How are you dating somebody and don't know the basic things about them?
That's that. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. Wouldn't it? I would guess something like that would go back to why you're in a relationship in the first place. So does that mean there has to be some self-reflection done to find out why you even chose to be in this position? Is it a band-aid where you need stitches? Is it just some type of security measure to make you feel good while you figure out what's really going on in your life? That's a great question. You know,
Okay,
I
so
get
that
it.
just made me think of something.
What's that?
So here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you started off dealing with someone
Mm-hmm.
on a casual basis, and then the casualness of it transitions into you kind of digging the person pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it started off extremely casual, where it was the occasional maintenance, and then transitioned into you all spending more time together. Can a relationship that started off that casually end or reach a level of forever commitment? What you think?
Okay, cool. I'm gonna hold y'all down, fellas, because I'm gonna make sure I get the clarity out of everything she's saying, so we don't make no mistake. Because she said casual, and then she said extremely casual. So clearly, that's two different things. Okay, so what's casual? Like, what's the casual dating?
Okay, so casual might be, every now and again, y'all might go out, you might have a bite to eat, but y'all really just kind of kick it.
Mm-hmm. Is there a good night kiss in the casual, a little peck here and there, or it's just y'all just kicking? It ain't no sexual undertones.
There could be sexual undertones.
Okay. So then the extremely casual would include the occasional knockdown, is what you're saying. Bop, bop.
Definitely the occasional knockdown.
Mm.
Maintenance only.
Okay, maintenance only. So the extremely casual is a combination of casual and extremely casual. So you go out, you hang, and then you get the occasional knockdown. And so you're saying, could that, grow into like a real thing?
Right. Could that transition into a real thing?
Um, all right. So what I'm about to say, I've said this many times in plenty of conversations that we've had and we've had with other people, and there is something that's very key in this. It's the communication, right? Because everybody got to know what everybody's feeling and what everybody's thinking, right? Because let's say he digging on you real good,
Mm-hmm.
but she just really need that extremely casual, that extreme casual. She ain't trying to go no further than that.
Okay.
If she don't let the dude know, then when does he start to open up the vulnerable side of himself to have a possibility of going further than that? Like, doesn't the conversation have to be had? Like, I'm digging. Like, okay, so if I was a guy, I'd come to you like, I'm digging on you. I'm liking you real good. I like the casual, and I love the extreme casual. I want it to be, you know what I mean? I want it to be just you and me. We'd have to have that conversation to even have an opportunity to get to the point where we can have a good relationship. And depending on how that conversation goes, it determines where it goes from there.
So does a woman have to wait for the guy to initiate that conversation? Like, what if the woman knows that she would like it to go from being extremely casual to maybe being something more exclusive? Does the woman have to wait for the guy to actually initiate, or should she continue to just go with the flow until the guy says, hey, you know what? I'm really feeling you.
Once again, that would depend on her past and the things that she's been through. But I'm an equal opportunist. Whoever's feeling it, that's the person that got to say it. So if I'm digging on you real good, I ain't going to wait for you. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to put the ball in your court. I'm going to say, hey, I'm liking you pretty good. I don't want nobody else liking on you pretty good and having your extreme casual. I want that all to myself. So, let's clear out the cachet and just keep me in there. You dig what I'm saying? To make it an exclusive situation and see where it goes. But I'm going to speak up. I ain't going to sit back and wait for it. Because if you sit back and you wait too long, old boy might say the right thing on the other end. And it might tip the scale. He might say something that's right, and that thing go, and you'd have missed your opportunity. So when that window open, jump through it. I'm going in head first.
So the only thing that I'm hearing that might be problematic in everything that you and I are both saying is, what happens when the two parties don't want to be vulnerable enough with each other to put themselves out there first?
Unfortunately, in our community and with just people in general, if you're in a situation like that, then it sounds like you got some personal issues you need to deal with before you even try to get intertwined with somebody. Because if it's to that extent where you feel the way you feel, maybe you need to take a minute and look at yourself, and figure out what you really want to do and where you're trying to go. And I mean, you can have that conversation with the other person. And, and if he's a good enough guy or she's a decent woman, there's a thing called understanding. Well, what I'm saying, when you figure it out, because I like you real good, I'm going to be right here. Now, don't expect me to wait. Because I don't expect you to wait if I give you that, because I'm opening the door for you to make a move. But, you got to have that understanding. So, but in a situation like that, maybe that person don't need to be in a relationship. They just need to, take a minute and self-reflect and figure out what they really want to do. And it's a hard thing to do because we all need to self-reflect some point in time, and we don't.
Okay, so let us double back to our original part of the conversation, which was the little things count.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some little things that, like some ideas of little things that a person could do to maybe show that they really do care about the person or the person is really special to them?
Well, one of the things that I've experienced is support.
Are we coming up in here?
You know what I'm saying? Like support in a sense of, even if you agree or don't agree or don't think it's gonna work or think it may work, if I say I want to start me a little business, right? And it's not something that you're necessarily into, don't know nothing about, and don't even really care to give two fucks about it. Just by saying, you know what? I think you do whatever you set your mind to. If you do it, I mean, why not? Give it a try. That's a little thing that could actually go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of knocking somebody down, just whether you're in or out, just give a little support. So that's a little thing that matters to me. And I had a conversation like that before, and turned out to be a pretty lucrative business. So.
Okay. So so as far as my whole train of thought is gone, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Oh my goodness. It's a whole conversation going on, so.
Somebody got Chinese food.
I'm glad I know how to edit a video.
Very right. Well, we just
Loud as hell.
You probably didn't tell them you had something going on,
Okay, so let me just double back. So you said that the little things, supporting you, is one of those things that someone could do. That would be, well, okay, so you're saying support is little, but in my opinion, support is a huge thing.
Well, I say it's little because it's one of those things that don't cost nothing, but it's not something that you get from everybody. And you, most of the time, you don't get the support from the people that you think should support you. You end up getting it from some strangers. It's like, oh man, I see you. I think you can do that. But a lot of times we want that support from in-house. And those are the people that very seldom support you. So it's a big thing, but it's a little thing that can, transfer into a big thing depending on who it's coming from.
Okay. Now, you and I both know the term support a person is a very large statement, but some people might be intimidated by it. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Or what does it look like to support someone?
To support someone, let's just say you have an endeavor, something that you aspire to do. You do what I'm saying? And you let your honey know. I'm trying to do this, that, or the other. I'm really thinking about jumping into it. Instead of him going, I mean, dang, that's going, like, how much that's going to cost? Can you afford to do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that right there is already bringing you down. But if you say you want to do a thing, you aspire to do something, and he goes, you know what? Do it. Whatever it is you want to do it. I support you. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. I've seen you work. I've read some of the stuff. I believe you can do it. Didn't cost him a dime. But just that support alone can put you in the mindset of, I think I can do this. And when you get to the point where you're doing it and you're actually, showing improving in that area, you think back to that day when you decided that you was going to do it. And instead of, that person being like, I don't know if you should do that, they was like, do it. I think you should. That small moment, that little bit of support turns into a real big thing.
Okay. That's a good example.
So people think support's always got to be monetary, and it don't. Support ain't got to cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? Support could just be liking something that you post on social media or following you on social media. The app is free. The touching of the button is free. The following me is free. That's support. You got to spend no money for that.
Well, now, when I think about support, I know I am a person that will try to show up for others. And so for me, showing up is support for me. So when you're present, that for me is a sign of support because it's a part of you saying, yeah, I believe you can do it. But then when it actually comes to flourishing, that person being present to actually see it come and you being able to celebrate in that moment with them. So for me, definitely, I would say just showing up.
Right. So you're looking at it from a standpoint of you thought enough of what I said I wanted to do, and you believed enough in what I said I wanted to do to take personal time from your life to support me.
Exactly.
That says a lot. That says a lot. And a lot of people don't give you that. You know what I'm saying? So it's the little things. And those little things can, turn into big things. So the importance of the little things, people, they really do matter. So tell me about your honey and these little things he do for you. What do he do for you? Because you're smiling. When I say your honey, you get the smiling real good. Get to showing them teeth. Who this nigga is? Like I don't know. Who this nigga is?
Little things like make me coffee when I'm halfway asleep and I'm getting ready to take, children to school, or I'm in the middle of a meeting and bring me breakfast. while I'm in the middle of the meeting to make sure that I eat, or shoot me a text message and say, "Oh, I was thinking about you. Have a good day." Another thing that is a little thing that I think that a lot of women wish their men would do, but they don't know, or maybe they're not comfortable with saying, "You know what? I really would like this." But when your man pray for you and your household, like that is a little thing that doesn't cost anything, but it is an amazing thing.
Okay, that's that. You know what? That's an amazing thing on both sides, though. You dig what I'm saying? Because a lot of women, they don't just jump out there and go ahead and bust off and pray for you like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been walked up on a couple of times. We got to get this situation situated. You hear me? We're gonna go ahead and pray this thing out. You know, and then stand there with you and stand in there with you. That's a little thing that means a lot, and a little thing that can make a very big difference. And not that praying is a little thing, but when you got somebody that's willing to step out of, their comfort zone, if that is their comfort zone, and do it with you and for you, that makes a great difference. I feel you on that. That's a vice versa thing. You know what I mean? And just for the people at home that don't know, I grew up in the south side of DC. I got a little bit of thug in me. I'm a mama's boy, my daddy's son. But I ain't got no problem praying with my lady, man. And I think y'all should do the same. Keep that foundation strong. You don't want to put a house on a bad foundation. You dig what I'm talking about? You put a house on a bad foundation, it stands a possibility of sinking. So keep that foundation strong. I like that.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our first episode of Candid Conversation. Please make sure that you and Prin. Please make sure that you follow us on YouTube. If you would like to follow us on our social medias, my social media would be she.write.books on Instagram. And Peanut, share yours.
Shout out Moon and Brew. That's my other podcast, Shout Out Moon and Brew on Instagram. Or you can go to the YouTube page, and it'll be links of this show intertwined with that show at Shout Out Moon and Brew on YouTube. Hell, you can follow me on Facebook. JM Head on Facebook, man. Holler at me, talk to me. Wherever I'm at, come on, be there. That's all I got.
And check out some of our TikTok videos on She Writes Books Media.
Yeah.
But check us out. But till next time, keep your conversations candid.
Peace.